Okay. Anybody know this one?
Go ahead. Riveting.
This is rake.
I can dry off the lines with.
This is what we call a garden rake. Some people refer to them as stiff rakes or steel rakes. They call them stiff rakes because the teeth or tines, these parts here, are not flexible. They're stiff. They don't bend back and forth. We got another rake here. This one we refer to as a leaf rake, and the tines or teeth on this are very flexible. They'll bend back and forth real easy. They're extremely flexible. The difference in these, the leaf rake, you can get in the grass and you can rake leaves. That's why the main thing we use as far as raking leaves. You can rake other stuff with them as well, but that's a common use. You can rake it through the grass and it'll get the leaves out of the grass without tearing up the grass. So this one, because of the way the tines are flexible on it, it'll move through the grass without grabbing and tearing up the grass. The garden rake, if you tried to do that, it would catch in the grass. It wouldn't work good for that. This is used a lot in gardens. That's where we get the name for it. We can use it raking to loosen up the soil around plants and stuff. We can also turn it over. A lot of people use it for leveling, turn it over and use the back side of it and move it back and forth like this. They use these rakes in construction sometimes because of that. If they're spreading sand or they're spreading rocks or something like that. In construction sometimes they'll use these rakes for the same thing. Spreading stuff around like that. Got another pair here we're going to take a look at. What do we got here? Anybody know that? That is a hoe. And then this one, that's a hoe too. They're both hoes. This one we call a garden hoe. It's got a flat blade up here on it, on the garden hoe. This hoe, two different names I've heard for this one. If you go in Lowe's, I know because I looked in Lowe's, I don't know what they call them other places. In there they label it as an action hoe. That's what I have it labeled as an action hoe. I've heard people call them scuffle hoes as well. I've never seen them labeled as that in the store, but I have heard that term. The difference in them, and I like this one really good for working around plants and gardening stuff. This action hoe, you hold it down like this and you can pull it and it cuts into the ground just a little bit, depending on how much pressure you put on it. It cuts the weeds off, the grass and stuff from around the plant really easy, and it doesn't dig a hole. It leaves a pretty nice surface. You can run, you can push it back and forth, you can do it both ways. I usually do it, I tend to do it mostly like this, but you can work it back and forth, and it kind of leaves the surface fairly level, kind of like you started with it. The garden hoe, a lot of people use these for hoeing in gardens, working in gardens. You have to take it and you have to pull it in underneath the ground, cut the grass, cut the top of the plant loose from the weeds, or the top of the weed loose from the roots. But you have to kind of do an in and out motion. And a lot of people tend to dig a hole with these. They take it and they put it down like this and pull it. And in the process of getting rid of the weeds or grass around the plants, they're also digging a hole around the plants. So I don't use these much for that. A lot of people do. I don't. These I use mostly for moving dirt, soil around. If I got to dig a hole for some reason, this works really good for covering it up. I can take this and I can pull the dirt back in the hole. I can level stuff with it. I use this for planting sometimes. I'll take the edge of it and pull it like this and make a little small furrow in the ground. I'll put my seeds in it and then I'll come back with this and pull the dirt over top of the seeds to cover them up. So I use this like that as well. We do use both of these around here.
Now you know, Mr. Palmer, you was talking about that one right there.
Yes.
And the scuffle hoe. Now I have the scuffle hoe with the point on it.
Yeah.
I guess one of the That's the old kind, right?
Yeah, they make what a lot of people call a scuffle hoe. It's got a triangular shaped blade. Comes to a point in the front, it's flat in the back, so it's kind of triangle
Yeah,
shaped.
that's how mine is.
And it sets flat. Whereas this, the blade sets this direction. The scuffle hoe, the blade would be flat on it like this. And it's designed similar to that action hoe, where you put that flat triangle-shaped blade in the ground and you can move it back and forth. And it does the same thing as an action hoe. It doesn't dig a hole as easy as this does. And that's the type
Pull
of
them
hoe
weeds on up.
I've heard the scuffle hoe term, what they call it.